Let's be honest, we've all found ourselves raging at a referee's decision at some stage. This feel familiar?
That is an absolutely shocking decision.
They've got a case in that it was a bad decision. It's such a poor decision.
Yeah, I think he's just made a bad decision in that instance.
But what does it take to get to the very top of football refereeing? Every referee starts with their county FA. It's a simple training course and you can take it as soon as you hit your 14th birthday. Once you've done that, you have to go through at least 11 hours of face-to-face training. You'll then graduate as a Level 7 official, which means you can take charge of county-level games. But hold your horses, there's still a long way to go to get to the Premier League. Your next step is to spend a year each at Levels 6, 5 and 4. This covers the top of the amateur game. Only at Level 3 do you start doing Northern Counties or Isthmian League level games, for example. If you've done this all quickly, you can reach Level 2 and ref your first National League match after, I don't know, 6 years? After getting enough experience at that level, you can apply to be a referee in the EFL. There's an interview, people watching you do games, and then, if the EFL are happy, you'll be granted a Level 1 licence to ref in games in League 2 and above. Now, they don't just say on you go to the Premier League, you have to work your way up through the divisions. Only after years of hard work and refereeing on cold Tuesday nights in Stoke can you be considered to do matches in some of Europe's very best stadiums. Now, who was the youngest to reach the very top? It was actually Michael Oliver. He refed his first Premier League match in 2010 at the tender age of just 25. So if you want to follow in his footsteps, crack on. It'll only take you roughly a decade, thousands of hours of work and an incredibly thick skin. In total, there are 37,000 registered referees across England, but the PGMOL has only deemed 21 good enough for the top flight. That means there's not even a 1 in 1,000 chance you'll even make it in. Obviously, referees can make mistakes, but when you think about it, having a go at them is kind of like slating a brain surgeon.
Good evening, this is the Sports Bar Bank Holiday Weekender on talkSPORT. I'm Olly Clink. I am with the big man, the former Wycombe striker, the beast himself, Adebayo Akinfenwa tonight, and we have loads on the way for you. Coming up, Tommy T. Tommy T, what have you done? What have you done? He has picked his England squad. No Maguire, no Hall, no Gibbs-White, no Palmer, Henderson, Tony, Byrne, in. If you're unhappy with this cause, if you're a bit baffled at what he's done with this England squad, we want to know which three players would you swap in and for who? 03717 223344. We'll also chat a bit about Pep Guardiola. He's gone, the end of an era. So where does he rank as an all-time Premier League great? And it doesn't mean Arsenal are now going to dominate, does it? Please no. Please, someone sort this out. All of that, plus we'll chat about Michael Carrick getting the Man United job. We'll look ahead to the Championship Spygate playoff final. And, of course, the final day of the Premier League season. Spurs fans, how are you feeling? Give us a call, 03717 223344. This is the Sports Bar Bank Holiday Weekender on talkSPORT. Bayo, how you doing, mate?
Man, I can't complain. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. It's been a scorcher today, hasn't it?
Yeah. I had my arms out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Look like I'm trying to show off and that, but I had my arms out.
Oh, big time. Yeah, it's a string vest kind of day today, isn't it?
It was, yeah. Beautiful day.
What have you been up to? What have you been doing?
You know what? I've been pretty busy. The podcast has been taking a lot of my time. Shout out for everybody that, supported the podcast and that. We won the SJ Awards recently. So yeah, that's been taking up my time and I've been enjoying it. Yeah, I know.
Look at this guy.
I didn't want to flex on nobody, but yeah.
How long was that? 2 minutes?
I know. Just bear with me. No, so you know what? The podcast's been taking up my time, so been in a good place, man.
Love that, mate. Looking forward to summer as well.
Yeah.
I feel like today it was that proper day, wasn't it? Where you're like, oh, it's coming.
Yeah,
it's
man.
coming.
Yeah,
I bet. Do you love a Barbie? It's a barbecue day.
I'm not really a massive fan. Like I remember, like a story. I tried to do like a barbecue for the kids and that, and burn it. So ever since then, I just invite me.
What did you burn?
I tried to put the chicken on the grill and that, and a couple burgers and that, and it came back very charcoal.
Yeah,
so,
charcoal chicken.
Yeah, so let's just
specialist dish.
I'll just invite me to a barbecue and I'll come.
Oh, mate, yours sounds great, mate. Even if you laugh at your cooking, that sounds great. I'll come down for sure. Listen, there's plenty for us to get into, isn't there? So many stories flying about, but we've got to start with this England squad. Look, firstly, what do you make of it? Because I listed there, didn't I, some of the players that have missed out, some of the players who have got in. What are your thoughts? When that squad landed, what were your initial thoughts?
I thought, ooh, I won't even lie, sound effect, ooh. I was like, look, I'll say this, right? And I think there's two ways. I think when you do hear, I think from yesterday when talkSPORT broke about Maguire being out, I think that was the first one where he was like, look, for England, Maguire's a weapon in both boxes, to be fair to him. So I was like, regardless of how he is for club form, for Man United and, his ups and downs, for England, he's sturdy, he's solid. So when I first heard that, I was like, oh, and then there was talks about the no Palmer, no Gibbs-White, no Foden. Of course, there was Welbeck, who was an outside shout, and then, Calvert-Lewin. So when you see the squad, you're like, it's different. But there was always going to be conversations that was going to have that players that made it, that didn't make it, So, I'm on the fence. There's a few changes that I would have been like, you know what? I would have liked to seen that person there, I do think moment players, and the moment players are the ones I mentioned, the Gibbs-Whites, the Foden, the Palmers. But listen, I ain't going to lie, Tuchel speaks a good game, man. I won't even lie, he does, man. I think one thing we do want, especially as fans, to be able to have a manager who, listen, he stands in his convictions. He stands 10 toes down, and that's what you want. So hopefully you're like, he's got a plan and he can execute it. And listen, I said this earlier, we do hope it's coming home and England don't just come home quickly. But yeah, man, he does talk a good game. So, and you've got to back your manager.
I mean, to be fair, when he sat down with his interview with RFA Carruthers a bit earlier today, Thomas Tuchel, before it even started, he just sat down and went, I bet I'm being killed on talkSPORT right now, aren't I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, look, love that you're listening, Thomas. We'll do our best not to kill you tonight. But, look, I just think there's some calls in there that don't make sense. And it's funny, isn't it? Because I think sometimes when squads get announced, we get a bit caught up, don't we, in a lot of players that aren't going to play many minutes. And they're big talking points. But with this squad, you can kind of go through some of the defenders. You can go through some of the midfielders. You can go through some of the forwards. There's kind of talking points everywhere. We want to ask the listeners, the three, if you're not happy with this squad, the three players that you would have had in and who you would take out. I'll start with you, though, Bayo. If you're looking at that squad, who are the three that you're taking out and putting in?
It's hard, man. Listen, because they're all top tier players. But for me, I do think, I said Maguire. I think Maguire, when I say deserves, I just think he's solid for England. And so therefore, over John Stones, and if in player for player over their career.
For John Stones?
Listen, John Stones ain't played all season for me, or for the majority of the season. And when somebody's played, listen, almost every game for your club team, they're finishing the Champions League. Last season, they were almost relegated, and then the up form. And again, he hasn't put a foot wrong. Or I say a foot wrong, don't let me, because I know people be like, have you been watching Maguire in certain games? But he's solid overall. And then you're putting somebody, and there is something with, I do think you've got to earn. I think current form comes into play. I really do. So
it's just that most people would have probably taken out Dan Burn and put Maguire in rather than Stones.
But even, and I get that, but Dan Burns played. I do think there's an element that you have to play. Like, you have to play games of the season. Like, then you're just putting in names. And listen, I'm not debating Stones ain't a better player, you know, and a better defender. But there's still got to be an element that you kind of earn the call up. You have to, for me, your body of work in the current season, in my opinion, as a player. So that's why I would say Dan Burns played the majority of the season. You know, listen, Newcastle ain't had a great season.
No, and he's not played well.
Yeah, but Stones ain't played. So what you weighing up?
But technically, he's a better defender than Dan Burns.
But and again, and this is the point that I'll bring back. So, are we just bringing names? If so, I get it. I'm not debating that. He is a better player. But if you haven't played in the current season throughout, and then so how do you gauge form? You're just going off what the person did. That's my point. Where I'm saying I'll take out Stones because he ain't played.
Yeah.
Look, Trent has to.
That one is baffling.
It baffles me. Oh my! Trent goes in. I just, again, I know people want to talk about what he can't do, and it just, for me, it just baffles me. And there's an element where we do focus on certain things, what people can't do, but he's got a generational right foot, and that's just, argue with yourselves if you don't agree. You know what I'm saying? So Trent goes in. I would take out Livramento this season, regardless of what. I'll take out Livramento. So Trent goes in. Then I would take out. I like Madueke, but I take him out because I think he's similar to Saka. And I really do. And I do think that there's an element of you do need to bring in a moments player. And again, I do think that's anyone from Palmer, Foden and Gibbs. So if I'm going to offer form, if I'm going to stick to what I think Gibbs White goes in. So I'd brought in Gibbs White over Madueke. So that's the three, Trent, Maguire and Gibbs.
I think Gibbs White's unbelievably unlucky not to be there. Because the thing is, right, there's been in form heading into a tournament, and there's been in red-hot form. Yeah. And that is what he is at the moment. He must be so gutted that he hasn't made that squad. I think that's the wrong call. So in terms of what I've also got Madueke coming out. Because I agree with you, mate. Firstly, he competes with Saka for the same position at Arsenal, and I find it a bit weird. I know Madueke's played a lot of football, but Thomas Tuchel's made a big point since he's been England manager of, like, well, you've got to be playing the games. And I just find it a bit odd that you're going to have two players who play the same position at the same club. And also, when you're watching that, you know, at a World Cup, you're watching that player about to come on, and the whole pub kind of gets a bit of a lift. You know, we saw it, didn't we, with Jack Grealish? Do you remember, like, free Jack Grealish getting on the field, etc.? Are you getting that with Madueke? Are you really?
It's just the reason why. And look, I'm glad Saka's there because I think he's got to be the main on the right, and I just think they're similar. Don't get twisted. And you've seen when Saka hasn't been there, Madueke has got moments. He does. I'm not gonna. I just think that's again plan A because they're so similar. And I at this point, when I see a player coming on, it's to be, you know what, the fullback's got the best of Saka, you know what I'm saying, if he has. So then Palmer brings something different. Gibbs White brings something different. That's the element where that's the reason why Madueke's got it, you know, he can, and he's got moments, and we've seen it in the Champions League and certain Premier League games. So I just think he's so similar to Saka. And in this tournament, I do think you need to throw plan A, plan B, and sometimes go to a plan C. I think Madueke seems like a continuation of plan A.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So I bring Gibbs White in for Madueke.
Okay, cool. We're on that.
I'm taking Henderson out, mate. Taking Henderson out. Cheerleader.
Oh, what the fuck? Why? What? No, why? Of course, okay. And reason why...
You're not having that?
Nah, Hendo goes. Hendo is a mainstay. And
a mainstay?
No, as in regards to... Look, you don't bring Hendo on if you need a goal. I would look at it, when I look at this, and I'm not... Don't get twisted, we argued off air in regards to experience, but even what he's did for Brentford, I think Hendo... And there is an element of what your aura is, both on and off the pitch. And Hendo, every player talks about, you know what, the way he is, both on and off the pitch. I don't care about if you don't like him on the pitch, so that's yours. But
no, but that's important, isn't it? That's massive. It's
it's an element to a tournament, what he does on the pitch. Like, we've got our 11.
He was a coach then.
No, because he's still, again, look where Brentford's fighting for Europe, you know. When Brentford, before the season, there was talk about him they were getting relegated. Brentford's fighting for Europe. So this is not just, we're talking back, what he did back in the day. Hendo still puts in performances for a team that they thought was going to get relegated. They're playing Liverpool with a potential to get into Europe. So this is not just him resting on his laurels. He can still ball. But I do think he brings more off the pitch. He still brings on the pitch, but brings more off the pitch. And that's why, for me, Hendo goals. There is such a thing in regards to downtime, in regards to be able to have experience, in regards to dealing with pressure in this World Cup phase. For me, it knows like I'm dying on the hill, but for me, Hendo goals.
Nah, man. Hendo's packing his pom-poms, mate, and that's all he's there for.
You lot bad. All right, go on.
That's all he's there for. 03717 22 33 Outrageous shout to start the show from Bayo. Hendo, a mainstay of this squad. I'm going to give you my last change in just a moment, but we want to hear yours. Who are the 3 players that you would bring in? 03717 22 33 This is talkSPORT.
Thomas Tuchel, when it comes to naming these squads, he always gives us a headline, doesn't he? Do you remember when we were broadcasting from Ascot and he left out Jude Bellingham? Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold has been omitted, so there is always a talking point. But I think if we'd sat down yesterday, before obviously we started getting all the news yesterday afternoon, and put our 26-man squad down, there's probably, 4 names in there that maybe we wouldn't have expected?
3 or 4, maybe, yeah.
None of us would have had Ivan Toney. I mean, not Ivan Toney wouldn't have had himself by the sound of things.
The fact he's at the embassy this morning tells you everything.
Yeah. As far as the back 4 is concerned, I think it will be James, Konsa, Gay and O'Reilly to start the first game of the tournament. I think we're pretty solid on that. So therefore, you can afford to take a couple of wild cards, a couple of slightly different players that fill gaps later on in the tournament. John Stones, we mentioned the lack of minutes. You know, we can't expect him to play 10 games or 8 games in 4.5 weeks. It's not viable bearing the amount of minutes that he's got under his belt. But class is permanent, and Thomas Tuchel likes to have him around. If you remember last year when we were in Girona, he wasn't fit. But he brought him into the camp even though he wasn't part of the squad because he wants him around. Why is that? Just explain to us what it is about him that he really likes.
Well, these boys have got to spend 7 weeks together, you know, so you've got to have the chemistry right within the group. If you've got some great influencers within that group, it's brilliant, you know, just to facilitate everyone. More importantly, I, as a manager, never had to worry about number 1 to 11. They looked after themselves. You take them to a major tournament, they're picked, they're happy. It's the ones from 12 to 26. I always used to make sure, as a manager, whenever we went to a major tournament, the day after we played, I would be one of the coaches on the training pitch, taking the coaching to show to those numbers 12 to 26, I'm here and I care about you. You have to do that. You have to do your work with those players. If you've got a few role models in there on the playing staff that can do that for you, double whammy.
Stripes, bottle of blue, Friday nights, bucket hats, marker zips, 3 lines loud, voice half ripped, Union dreams, Britpop lies, Air Max hope and let it cry. We thought that football meant we'd belong, 96 still hurts that song. All my life.
This is the Sports Bar Weekender with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app today for all the latest odds and offers. 18+, gambleaware.org. I'm Olly Clink alongside Adebayo Akinfenwa. You liking this one, mate?
Yeah, no, man. All right, go on. Coley did his thing. I liked it. I was bopping. I like it.
Go on the rap. This is our very own Marco on the buttons. This is his big tune for the summer for the World Cup. Do you know who I can see doing like a routine to this?
Go on.
Maybe with like, a pair of pom-poms.
Go on.
Jordan Henderson, mate.
Can't be. Jordan Henderson out. He's bringing home the World Cup, Jordan Henderson. He's bringing it home. Give me an E. I'm backing you. I'm backing you, Hendo. Don't watch that.
In all seriousness, yeah, because Bayo said that he loves this shout of Henderson going, thinks he definitely should have been in that squad. But obviously it's been controversial. Just give us a call if you agree with Bayo on it. You think that experience of Jordan Henderson is well worth having. I just think you miss out on having, a Palmer there or a Gibbs White, or even taking an Adam Wharton. I just think there are going to be players at home with so much quality that you're not quite getting if you're taking someone like Jordan Henderson. Anyway, let's get to the calls. Declan is a Man City fan. How you doing, Deckers?
Sound, mate. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. What did you make of this squad then?
No, to be honest, I think it's an absolute joke, mate.
Oh, right. You came in on fire. All right, Declan, talk to us.
So you got 3 Newcastle players in there. And what's Newcastle been up to the season? Bottom half table finish. Can he be having Newcastle players in there? A man like Dan Burn.
Yeah, do you know what it is, Declan? I'm a Newcastle fan, right? And I do agree with you to an extent. I think Gordon's pretty lucky to go. He's stunk the place out in the league. I think Dan Burn is quite lucky to go. Like, look, I love the man, but he's lucky to be ahead of Maguire there. Livermento's been injured and out of form the whole season. The best English Newcastle player is staying at home. Why is Lewis Hall not in that squad? It's absolutely criminal that Lewis Hall is not in that squad. That makes absolutely no sense for me. Go on.
To be fair, look, it's a miss, but it's like he wouldn't be starting anyway. Maguire, he should be there and starting. He should be there, partnered up with Gay, he's starting. With Raleigh at left back, and then he should be Trent at right back.
I'll get you in Trent. So, let me ask you a question, though, because you're a City man, right? You support City?
I'm a football fan.
No. Yeah, raw, man. It'd be easy asking. I'm just trying to... raw. All right. Pause, count to 5 and Woosah. I was going to ask you about John Stones, him being injured the whole season and then coming to... you because, you're talking about, players that haven't played well, innit? So I'm going to ask you in regards to Stones not playing all season. What's your take on that?
I think it's just another Jordan Henderson. Like, he's there just for the experience. But the thing is, if you got John Stones, you don't need Jordan Henderson. If you got Henderson, you don't need Stones.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. How many cheerleaders do you need, Bayo? That's the thing.
So
How many do you need?
But so is Stones a cheerleader then? Because this is what I'm saying. Because you pick and choose. That's what I'm saying. So you pick and choose on the players. So if you're now saying Stones is there for an experience, so all right, Stones ain't played, Hendo's played. So there's a positive in that regards. In regards to what you're talking about, cheerleaders. So Declan, I get what you're saying. If you're like, look, you know what, they're bringing him for experience, even though he hasn't played. All right, cool. I'm with you on that. But exactly that. If you've got Hendo for experience, then bring Maguire, leave Stones at home.
Yeah, I just think Stones is better in his position. That's the problem I've got. I just think, I get your point about the fact he hasn't played, but I think you're getting more out of someone like John Stones because I just think he's a better quality player.
If Stones is fit, he's starting.
Yeah.
No, listen, I won't.
Whereas if
I won't. I'm not even arguing that. If Stones is fit and played this season for City, I don't even qualms that. Deck, I'm with you. I'm like, yeah, Stones plays. You know what I'm saying? It's just because he hasn't. That's the reason why I'm saying it.
Yeah. Cheers for your call, Deck. 03717 223344. Let's go to Lee, who's a Leeds fan. How you doing, Lee?
I'm doing all right, lads. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, thank mate. What are you doing on your bank holiday?
Oh gosh, I'm watching Championship playoff final with my girlfriend, and then I'm training Saturday, and then Monday I got nothing on.
Yeah, brilliant. The pressure's off on Sunday for Leeds as well, isn't it? Do you want out of interest, before we get your thoughts on the England squad, right? If you're being honest, because of how funny it could be if Spurs go down, would you mind that much if Leeds lost to West Ham?
Do you know what? I had a conversation about this, and I said, it's either do I want Somerville to go down, or would I want Archie Gray to go down? And obviously, I'd rather have Somerville to go down. But then Spurs would be more funny to go down. So it's like,
fair enough. Fair enough.
You get, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
What are your thoughts on this England squad then, mate? How did you react when you saw it?
I think you guys mentioned about 3 changes. There needs to be a good double, treble that probably.
Oh, wow.
Just in terms of like like Bayo said about plan A, plan B, plan C, you need different options from the bench. So, example, Reece James is right back, but then when you're losing the game, you put Trent in. If Nico O'Reilly is tired and he needs a rest, you know, Lewis Hall comes in. You know, when you need a header from a corner, Dan Bird and Harry Maguire come in. But obviously, he's only picked one of them. You know, and just different options. Like, obviously, Calvert-Lewin could have been in there, but obviously, Tony can do that job. And just, like, for example, Madueke, he's the same as Saka. You know, you need someone different like Cole Palmer to come off the bench.
I agree.
I think that's such a good point, Lee. I think when I look at this squad, obviously the starting 11 picks itself, and we kind of knew that heading into it, and it's a very strong starting 11, I think. But I just think there's players at home which mean that this squad now has a lack of depth and a lack of variety, like Lee's pointing out.
I agree with Lee in regards to that. I do think there's a plan A, which we can all see, but when we look at it, it just looks like plan A. So even on the bench, it looks like a more of plan A. So that's what I get. I do think that, and that's why I do say that maybe about moments players. But I do, the other flip side of it is that we're not privy to the way all of these get on. So this is where, you know, he looked at it, he said, you know, even when he made the phone calls and spoke to them, and maybe there's a thing that they all actually complement each other off the pitch. And that's what we're not privy to. So I know we're comparing on what they do on the pitch, and that's right, because I'm with you, I'm with Lee, I'm with yourself, that I do think there's an element of a lack of variety here, but maybe there's that, you know what, we're trying to create a team both on and off the pitch, and these go together.
Lee, I want to ask you about one in particular. Ivan Toney's got in. I actually think that split people down the middle, because there's a few people going, well, he'd be great in a penalty shootout, he's still a very good striker, etc. But obviously you're a Leeds fan. Do you think Calvert-Lewin's a bit unlucky here? Because I think Tuchel said he was kind of almost 50-50 on who to take.
It's like a flip of the coin. It's like heads, you get Tony, and Calvert-Lewin, you get tails. It's like, you know, Calvert-Lewin's obviously done it in the Premier League, score goals for us. But if you're wanting someone to come on in that last, you know, not in extra time and just step up and has the confidence to take a penalty, and I don't even know how many millions of people watching, you pick Tony. I would not pick Calvert-Lewin in that because obviously he missed against Crystal Palace, he missed against Sheffield Wednesday. But if you said to me who's had a better season, if you're going off that type of remit, you go Calvert-Lewin. But I understand why the manager has gone with Tony, because you think, right, 120th minute, who's got the, you know, nuance to go, I'm going to take a penalty and I'm going to score? That's Ivan Toney. And like he did in the last Euros against Switzerland, what did he do? He scored a penalty and got us through. So
yeah, it's true. Lee, enjoy sending Somerville down on Sunday, mate. Have a great bank holiday.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
There we go. 03717 22 3344. I think the Tony one's really interesting. And I think, you know, I wasn't that surprised when Tuchel kind of came out and said, look, he basically admitted he's taken him for penalties, didn't he? He was like, yeah, he's got very specialist skills. What do you think about that? Do you think that's the right shout, just to take someone because, you know, you do get to a penalty shootout? Let's be honest, with Ivan Toney, almost guaranteed that you're going to be scoring that penalty.
Yeah, I think when you play in tournament football, not like I've gone to the World Cup before, but when you play tournament football, I think it starts coming into specialists, and that's what Ivan Toney, and I think he does pip both Calvert-Lewin in. And listen, let me give an honourable shout out to Welbeck as well, who scored, I think, 13 goals this. So when you're looking at the three of them, I think what pips it is that Ivan Toney's been there and done it, scored a penalty, and he has that aura when it does come to, you know what, relax and listen, these penalty records. And he scored a lot of goals in Saudi, and that's a habit, you know, to continue to come on, knowing that he's not starting every game. We know who our main number 9 is. So I do think he pips both Calvert-Lewin and Welbeck. So, yeah, I think that's good.
I think the problem is in Saudi. That's where people are going, really, you know, is that the right thing for him to have got on that plane? But we'll
goals
see.
are goals, B. I'm telling you, it's a habit. And, again, if it was a mainstay... Listen, Harry Kane's going to play. Like, there's no, we're not rewriting it. We've watched enough of England to know Harry Kane, if fit's going to play. So Ivan Toney's going to play when needed. That's just what the case is. And being able to have that habit of scoring goals in, of course, league plays a part, but it's a habit. So him coming on, and so he's used to that for the whole season. And we're not talking about quality, we're just talking about him maintaining his habit. I do think he pips the two, and he's the right call.
Okay, 03717 22 33 44. Keep the calls coming in. This is talkSPORT.
Look at some of the attackers, Palmer and Foden left at home. The two omissions probably that define the talking points of the squad.
But we all expected it. I've been saying it for the last 2 months, and Manchester City fans and Chelsea fans are like, no, you can't leave them out. It's Cole Palmer, it's Foden. We know what Palmer can do in big games, but when you're not performing in that position where we've got so much talent, like Rodgers, Eze, look at Bowen, unfortunate not to be in the squad. Gibbs White can't get in the squad, so I don't think it's a shock that Foden and Palmer don't make it.
One of the things that he has said, Thomas Tuchel, is that he wasn't going to take a batch of number 10s. He was going to take players that played in specific positions in that front line. He has only taken 3 of them. He couldn't take 5. He didn't want to take Foden and Palmer and then crowbar them into the team out of position. Is that the right call?
I think so, because we saw, going back to the last European Championships, Gareth Southgate tried to do that with Foden in particular, and he ended up having a nightmare of a tournament. Palmer was used only sparingly. So, yeah, I understand the argument. I would have taken one more in that number 10 position, because obviously you can play Bellingham deeper if needed as well. And I think if you're talking about taking one more, Gabby's dead right on form. Foden has been off it for a long time. Palmer has had an injury-afflicted season and hasn't really been the Cole Palmer of old. Morgan Gibbs-White would have been the one for me. You look at his numbers, his best ever goal-scoring season. He's carried Forest away from relegation danger into a major European semi-final. So I think of all the players that have been left out, he'll be concerned this morning. I was just thinking there, actually, can we lend a few of these to Scotland? They'd appreciate it.
Unnecessary? Would you say unnecessary, stoking the fires?
He is. I don't know whether that's an insult to England or Scotland at this moment in time. We'll dig deeper later.
Morgan Gibbs-White, the joint most goal contributions of any English player in the Premier League this season, didn't make the squad. 17 goals, Europa League semi-finalists. Come up with some big moments as well when Forest have needed it most. As a Forest man yourself, does that irk you a little bit?
I've looked at Gibbs-White's performances over the last 2 or 3 years. When he plays well, Forest play well. He does have dips in form, to be fair, and it's probably cost managers their job on occasion, to be quite honest with you. But the bottom line is, at this moment in time, if you turn around and said who is really bang on form, Gibbs-White is one of those people.
Good evening, this is the Sports Bar Bank Holiday Weekender with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside Adebayo Akinfenwa. Mate, what are you up to for the bank holiday? Doing anything fun? You out and about?
Nah. Well, to be fair, I actually said my little man's doing GCSEs.
Oh, mate, pressure's on.
Pressure's on. So I'm with him this weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just gonna enjoy the enjoy the weather and watch the football.
Love that. Do you know what I've heard the other day? I think Max Dowman might not be able to play for Arsenal this weekend because he's doing his... that is crazy.
That's so humbling. That's so humbling.
Incredible. Anyway, keep your calls coming in on this England squad. So much to get into with it. We were chatting about Tony just before the break. I really think that has split people, that one, because some people looking at it and going, yeah, take him for those penalty shootouts, and even to throw him on in the last 10 minutes. Other people going, come on, he's been playing in the Saudi League. There's other players that could have gone ahead of him. 03717 22 33 44. Firstly, let's hear from the England manager Thomas Tuchel, who spoke earlier today at his press conference. He had this to say on the squad he picked for the World Cup.
I think from day one we were very clear that we are trying to select and build the best possible team, which is not necessarily to select and collect the 26 most talented players. Teams win championships. It's as simple as that. And what we are trying to achieve in summer can only be achieved as a team. I can assure every fan in the country that we have 26 100% committed players in camp with us who know their role, who are ready to buy into their role on and off the pitch, and who are ready and committed to the idea of team spirit and being unselfish.
Yeah, he's hammering home that team idea, isn't he? Do you know what? The only thing I will say about that, look at the last few tournaments, and you can go back through history as well. Lamine Yamal, individual brilliance. Lionel Messi, individual brilliance. Kylian Mbappe, individual brilliance. Like, as much as, yes, teams win championships, there's times where you have individual players that carry you through tournaments.
I agree, but then I would say then that's a little bit of a slight of the players that are going, because we have got the players that can do individual brilliance. And what he said there as well was profound, because he was like, look, I'm telling everybody that it's not about the most talented, because we've talked about them individuals, but it's that team. And what he also said is that everybody knows their roles on and off the pitch. And it's us for us to say, oh no, but we watch them week in, week out. We've seen them do this, we've seen them do that. But what we ain't seen is what he's seen is the players that know their roles. And I think that's what's powerful to say that it's a team that's going to... So, like I said, and you know what? I won't even disrespect Hendo by saying cheerleader, but if somebody's role is to be the aura giver, the energy giver, and not the energy zapper, then that's his role, you know? And when you're part of a squad, if you buy into that and you're committed, listen, it can go a long way.
Look, we can question the decisions, but at least he's sticking to his guns, isn't he? And he does explain himself well, you've got to say that. Let's go to your calls, though. Rupert is a Leicester fan. Rupert, what are you thinking about this squad, mate?
Hi, mate. I think it's in certain positions, it's just absolutely horrendous. So we've got Adam Wharton.
Don't mince your words, Rupert. I like it.
We've got Adam Wharton left out of the squad, and we're taking Jordan Henderson.
Oh.
We've also got Morgan Gibbs-White, who hasn't been let in the squad, but Eze has been let in. I'm sorry.
What?
I understand Eze has an amazing level of class, but at the end of the day, we've got Morgan Gibbs-White, who has more assists and more goals.
Yeah.
Why is he not going? It makes no sense. And it's all about the agenda of these top six clubs coming in and having their name in the limelight, when realistically, all these clubs like Nottingham... I mean, I'm a Leicester fan. I really don't like Nottingham Forest. But at the end of the day, why is Morgan Gibbs-White not going?
I agree. I think it's criminal, Rupert. I think it's criminal he's not going.
Listen, Rupert, I agree. I think Gibbs-White should go, but easy. Listen, there's not... How you're saying Eze shouldn't go. This is the thing what I would say. I would say this with football, and I think why it makes it so beautiful, because it is an opinion. It's an opinion sport, and we will all give our opinion, you know, so... Because that's me. I think Eze, again, and I use this, Eze has to go. If you said, yeah, you know what, Madueke for Gibbs-White, I said, yeah, man, me and you were on the same kind of the pathway, do you know what I'm saying? And look, and that's the thing. I think if we all gave our opinions, we'll all have a different squad. And at the end of the day, we do, and again, we hope that he's picked it right. He's hoping he picked the 26 and it does come home, do you know what I'm saying? But listen, Rupert,
coming home.
I like that. Roof came with some conviction. I like it.
Mate, it's happening. 2026, 60 years, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it?
Even though you hate the squad. Even though you said the squad's horrendous.
The squad is not horrendous. There's just a few things, like, how would we feel if we have Madueke coming on and we're in a semi-final and we need a goal, and then in the final minute he dribbles it down the wing and tries to take it into the box but just completely kicks it out for a goal kick.
Rupert, do you know what? You're so right about that, because when Tuchel was asked about Madueke, his answer was, I think he's a brilliant impact player. And I just thought, have you watched Arsenal recently? Honestly, when he's come on for Saka, Rupert has literally spelled it out perfectly. He has failed to make an impact. I think he's only scored 1 goal as a sub all season. So some of the explanations to me didn't make sense.
Saka's been injured for a long time, and he's come back, and has he got the same amount of assists and goals as Madueke's got all season? And I really, really don't understand taking someone like that.
Sorry, Rupert. I agree with you. I do think there's a top 6 or the bigger club agenda. I do. I think there's an element, because I do. When you look at it, the Gibbs White, and I think sometimes it must be so disheartening when you have your output this season has been what it is, and you still don't get a call up. It's not just because you're playing for that team, or maybe it is. But for me, Gibbs White should be on the plane. He should be in the squad. So I totally agree with you on that.
Root, what are you doing this bank holiday, mate?
I'm currently driving down to St Ives from Leicestershire. I'm hour 4 into a 6-hour journey. Going down there for a week. So that should be lovely.
Oh, in the sunshine. Do a bit of surfing, bit of cider down there?
Oh, yeah, mate, the weather's going to be amazing. Everything's going to be class. A few rounds of golf.
Oh, look at this. What a week. I was by and he's like, yeah, nothing, mate.
Yeah, I did none of that. I did no golf.
Mate, Rupert's living the life here, mate.
No, man. I want to be like you when I go out, Rupert.
Mate, Rupert. You've always got my invite.
Yeah, mate, he'd be straight on that beach.
My brother Rupert.
With those arms out, for sure. Rupert, thanks very much. 03717 22 3344. Naz is a Man United fan. Naz, what are your thoughts on this squad, mate?
Very straightforward. Why does this squad need a cheerleader?
Which one's who's the cheerleader first?
Why does any squad need a cheerleader like Jordan Henderson? By the way, I have no problem with Tony because 2 Portugal players are in the Saudi Arabian League, and one of them is the best player in the world, so no problem with that.
Cool.
And he's a penalty taker. However, the point is, if we 1-0 down, 2-1 down in the last 25, 30 minutes, who do you want to bring on? Madueke, or do you want to bring on Cole Palmer?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned a cheerleader there. We're assuming, as you mean, Jordan Henderson. Is that the most infuriating one for you, would you say?
To me, there's 2. I'm a United fan, so when people say the callers say the big 6, United are the big 2. Forget the big 6, and Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw's not going.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know about Luke Shaw, to be honest.
I'm not too qualms. No disrespect, I'm not too qualms about Luke Shaw. I think Harry Maguire he can feel hard done by personally, especially in the an England shirt. So I get you on that. Tony, I agree with you on that. I think even when the manager says it, the manager says, and I know you're saying cheerleader, and let's just go by that definition. Like, sometimes there's roles that everybody has to play, and you're bringing players that ain't going to be able to, have a strop, ain't going to be negative in training, and that plays a part. And I know we're just tunnel vision and being like what they can do on the pitch, but the manager stated, that everybody knows their role. So let's just use that definition. It's a cheerleader. There's a cheerleader that needs to be gone, because you can't play 26 players, or how many players have gone, So that's my point, where I do think Hendo's going, not just on the pitch, and listen, we've spoke about it, but the role he's going to play within when they're not on the pitch, and I think that's crazily important.
I hear what you say, but we know the NFL, and by the way, best cheerleaders are not men.
Let me just first, I agree with you on that. Naz, I agree with you on that. Let me just say that.
That's great. Cool. 037.
I follow the Green Bay Packers. I used to live in America, in Wisconsin, so I used to follow the Green Bay Packers. So I know what cheerleaders are all about.
All right.
Yeah, let's get off this cheerleader. Yeah, let's get off
the
that.
Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers throwing the Hail Marys over there.
No, I love it. That's great. Cool. 03717 22 3344. This is talkSPORT.
thought it was great at the end of the game, the way the players were with him.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Emi Martinez picked him up.
Because we saw a wee side to him that you don't see.
Yes.
We saw a different side to him.
What was funny, though, when Emi Martinez picks him up, on the clip behind, you can see the players are a bit like Tyrone Mings. They're laughing like, "Oh my God, how has he done that?"
Yeah.
Because then they know that like the manager's not really like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to be the centre of attention.
Yeah.
But it was incredible scenes, Ali, afterwards. So emotional for so many Villa fans, and we were lucky to be in the stadium.
Brilliant.
All the clips back home, Ali, like so many places showed the game. Thousands of fans on the streets still now celebrating across the world. How many fans I spoke to last night that have come from Australia?
See,
They've got 4 flights to get here.
Same.
Some fans have not had a hotel room overnight. They've got the early flight this morning,
Yeah.
so they just stayed up. Some fans have got to get them back through Germany, through different parts of Europe to get home. But what that win means for every Aston Villa fan in the world, Ali, it's just unbelievable. I can't describe in words, and I hope we get some good callers on today. And they'll have their stories of what this means.
I'm
to
sure
them.
we will, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, 6:20. We're the champions, of course, rang out at Besiktas Park as Aston Villa get their hands on that Europa League trophy. I wonder if you've learnt the words by now, Gab. Here's
I
your
know, mate, I know.
Well, listen, we're going to bring you back down here for a crashing bang, my friend. Here's your rendition of that classic last night in the stadium. Fantastic. Good on you. I was just...
Hilarious, mate.
I met all the Villa fans before the game, man, and they were brilliant, Gabby. Brilliant. Older gentlemen, young boys.
Ali, there's been no incidents.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Yep, listen up with the 2026 FIFA World Cup almost here. Thanks to Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier, talkSPORT is sending you and a friend to Dallas, Texas, baby. You could be at England's first game against Croatia on June the 17th with return flights, accommodation, spending money, tickets, and the official Adidas match ball, the Trionder. All thrown in, ready to get that winning feeling. Here's how to enter. For your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text the word win to 83338. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by the 1st of June 2026 by 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. Keep it on. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a TalkSPORT promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. Nice little trip to Dallas. That'd be good fun. You been there?
Nice. I've been to Houston. I
genuinely thought you said Euston then. Like in London.
I've been there too.
Oh, right. Nice, mate, yeah. That was a train station.
I've been there too, but yeah, no, you'll have some, man, good food there, man. Real good food.
What'd you have?
We went to a place called, what was it called? Turkey Leg. The place called Turkey Leg.
Right.
And so you get like a massive turkey and they cut it. And within the turkey leg, it's got like spices and I think potato inside. Yeah.
Mate, that sounds
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Bringing back memories.
I mean, it's going to be better than your barbecue, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want charcoal food, don't come to mine.
Charcoal chicken in Dallas. Bayo's new restaurant.
You don't want that. I'm going to stick to I'll stay in my lane.
03717223344. We're chatting about Thomas Tuchel's England squad. So many calls for us to get our teeth into that he has made. We've been chatting about whether Ivan Toney is the right shout. Jordan Henderson, is it right to take a cheerleader? What colour? He's taking his red and white pom-pom shirt.
You listen, I will not. I'm telling you, I'm going to shut that down. He ain't no cheerleader. Right. He is a integral part of the squad. I'm telling you this now. You get me? Yeah.
Harry is an Arsenal fan. How you doing, Harry?
Hello?
Hi, mate. You okay?
Hey, what's going on, H?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, sorry. I heard Harry. I was like, that could be anyone. Yeah, sorry. So my point was about the Henderson thing. So he's taken, Alex Scott and Gamoa, one other, I can't remember, because they'll help out and, they could maybe fill in. I think he's taken Henderson because he feels like he can play a part on the pitch. Otherwise, if it was purely for like that cheerleader role, then surely he would just take him along anyway and then just fill that 26 spot with someone else.
Yeah.
So I think Tuchel definitely sees that he can have a benefit. I personally don't agree.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a group chat of like 6 or 7 lads and they can't agree on the 26-man squad. So there's obviously going to be issues with a whole host of countries' opinions, which is, it happens. But I think Henderson, I don't agree that he's there, but I don't think Tuchel's being completely honest in saying that it's good to have around the camp, and that's the sole reason. I think he potentially will play a part.
That's a big call. So you're saying basically, Harry, that you think that he is going for his footballing ability. I mean, you've been speaking, to be fair, about the job he's done for Brentford this season. But I don't know, mate. Like,
I'm with Harry. Sorry, I agree. I think Tuchel is. Listen, if he's needed on the pitch, I think he will feel no way with putting him on. I literally, and when I'm talking about as just his experience, I think his experience adds to it. But I do think that Tuchel's looking at it. He's seen him in training. He's seen him, help Brentford get to a high position in the league. Listen, there's no doubting. One thing, let's just say this, right? There's no doubting that Hendo can still play. We've seen it this season. We've seen it him play for Brentford this season. So we know he can still play. So we know that. Do we feel that he's more going for his experience off the pitch? We can all agree that as well. But there's an element, I think Harry is saying that, listen, Tuchel is saying that he's going for his experience, but he also believes if needed on the pitch, he can play. And I agree with that. That's what I agree with.
Hazard, was there any other calls that you weren't happy with?
I didn't really understand the Jed Spence call. I think the fence in general was a bit of a worry looking at the squad. But I mean, I haven't seen any inmates come to the Jed Spence penitentiary in a few months. So
sorry, H, let me ask you a question, because we talked about Saka and Madueke, and you're an Arsenal fan, so you've watched them both this season.
I don't think Madueke should be going.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not that like blindly going to say, oh yeah, Madueke should be going because he's Premier League champ. There's better options we can have. I also agree that Palmer should be going, just because I think on an international stage it's something a bit different.
I hear that.
Just seeing out a Premier League game. I found his comments on Foden quite interesting. He said obviously like everyone knows that Foden's got class and talent. He hasn't really had the form. You could argue the same for Madueke, to be honest. He hasn't really shown a body of work that means that he justified the place in the squad.
You're right about Foden, by the way, H, because he also was kind of talking about he didn't really know what position to play him in too, which is it's pretty honest, isn't it? That admission. And I don't know.
I think we appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't know, but do you sit and hear that and think, well, that's your job to work out, and you've got to try and find the way to get the best out of Foden? Or do you actually think, firstly, he's not in form? For me, I don't think he should make the squad anyway. And secondly, I don't know, he's not offering Tuchel something in his system that's definitely going to help him win a game of football in his eyes.
Yeah, I think Tuchel's coming. Oh, sorry, go on. H, let me hear your response.
Sorry, I I'll just say I agree partly on both points. I think with a World Cup squad, versatility is obviously a big bonus for a player. Just because you might get the odd injury, you might need a left back to fill in at centre mid or vice versa, put number 10 out on the wing. With Foden though, I can't remember any specific moment in an international tournament where he's made a moment. Like Cole Palmer instantly, you think about the equaliser he scored against Spain. We've got Harry Kane goes without saying. But yeah, with Foden, I don't know. I mean, Henry Winter's done his very best to try and get the propaganda up on Foden saying he should be on the plane. But I think most people can see that it hasn't really done the business.
Yeah, fair enough. Harry, what are you doing for the Champions League final, mate?
We're heading into London. I was toying with the idea about getting a ticket for the screening, but I think I'd much rather be out in a pub somewhere watching the game, so we'll do that.
You going to do it?
Could potentially. I think it's one game, isn't it?
I think they are, man. If they do it,
we could do it. Yeah.
I don't want you to. No, I don't want them to. Sorry, listen, half my family's Arsenal, my whole friendship group, and if you win it, I think the world will shut down for 2 weeks. I do. I think the world will shut down for 2 weeks. Oh, Lord. Jesus help us.
Yeah, you won't see me for 40 days and 40 nights, mate. It might be a long time.
I don't know it will. Oh, jeez.
Age, great to chat to you, mate. 03717223344. Keep those calls coming in. Plenty of you wanting to have your say. Good point, by the way, by Harry about Jed Spence. That's not even one we've talked about yet. We talked a bit about how I feel that Lewis Hall definitely should be on that plane. Because the other thing is, when you look at the fullbacks, O'Reilly's left-footed. And other than that, you haven't got anyone there. Does that give us enough cover? You've got players that can play there. Of course you have. Livramento can definitely do a job there. Obviously Spence can, but I just think sometimes he might have left himself a bit short.
Yeah, listen, look, we ain't got a crystal ball. And again, we don't know what the changing room's like. And we're only going off of their footballing ability. And I do think balance he said there's a balanced squad. I think there's only, like he said, there's only one left footer in that. So I would say that to have balance, you kind of need like a left footer in that. But Jed Spence, for me, Jed Spence can play both. You know what I'm saying? And again, Livramento can play both. And, O'Reilly, that's his left side. And if Reece James is fit, Reece James is going to play. You know what I'm saying? But of course, we know his injury problems. Again, I won't even lie. I'm not too qualms at all about Jed Spence. He started off the season and I'm not too qualms about him. There's a few other elements where I'm just like, what could be. But again, listen, man, Tuchel does give me confidence when I listen to him speak, though.
Yeah.
I have to admit that.
This is Olly Clink Adebayo Akinfenwa here on talkSPORT. Hopefully, between now and 1 a.m, that's when we're with you till we'll get more on your holiday to Euston, mate. Wow, what an amazing time you had.
Oh,
Platform 4 at that time of year.
Platform 7, that's the better one. 4, a lot of things go on at Platform 4.
Can't wait to hear about it. This is the Sports Bar Weekend with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app today for all the latest odds and offers. 18+, gambleaware.org.
With Villa, right? Unai Emery is the man. He is like he has full control over everything. Transfers, youth club. There's no one telling him what to do. And there's been rumours about him going to Madrid. Can you imagine him going to Madrid, mate? If he's going to bench Mbappe to play someone else, mate, he'd get ousted straight away, wouldn't he?
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the perfect fit. It's the perfect club. It's the perfect.
No, but you're still Aston Villa, though.
What do you mean, Fundy?
Well, you mentioned Real Madrid, right?
Yeah.
Who's the bigger team?
What do you mean?
Cundy, come on, mate.
No, hold on a second. Hold on. Are you, sorry, have you taken stupid pills?
I don't know what. I don't know.
Sorry. Are we?
What are you trying to say? Aston Villa bigger than Real Madrid?
No, of course not, mate. Of course not. But
what are you trying to say, James? I don't know what you're saying. Explain yourself.
No, hold on. He's saying he wouldn't go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, because he's not in control.
Sorry, unless I've got you wrong, Dave.
Yeah, because he's not in control.
It's Real Madrid. What's wrong with you lot? Are you joking me?
Cundy, mate. Are you joking? Listen to me, right? Hang on, Cundy.
David. Listen to me. Are you saying to me he'd turn down Real Madrid?
As a manager? Right. So
no, man. What do you think I'm talking about?
Cundy, listen to me, right? He could go to Madrid, right? And
Dave, think about what you're going to say before you say it, okay?
Cundy, mate,
you've got time to think about it, okay?
You are.
He's
annoying me.
Take it away.
Dave, he's annoying me.
Yeah, man, your canister is way bigger than your brain, mate. I swear down.
Say it then, Dave. Say it. So here's the situation.
Right,
I'm going to throw it to you. Do you want the job? Do you want the job?
It's career suicide, Cundy. It's career suicide. If you went to Real Madrid, right, you have 6 months, he'd oust Mbappe, he'd get ousted by the fans, and then he'd be done. Right, at Villa, I'll tell you what, he could play bloody Tyrone Mings at striker, and I'd still trust the process. Do you know what I mean?
Are you saying he's going to say no to Real Madrid?
Yes. Kindly give Red a ball, mate. You're Chelsea. Where are you? 9th?
I tend to agree with you.
I don't know what to say today.
No, I get the whole. I get Jace. I get your whole argument.
No, I don't know what to say to him.
Shut up a minute.
Shin pads are a footballer's best friend, even if players like Jack Grealish do wear such small ones you can barely even see them. But what's the story with shin pads, and are there any rules on how big they should be? It all started with cricket, actually. Cricketers had been wearing shin pads since the 1700s. They'd been introduced not for leg protection, but instead to give batters a strategic advantage. The idea was that batters could put their leg pads in front of the wicket if they missed the ball, preventing them from being bowled out. Obviously, that all changed when the LBW rule came in, but that was the theory behind them. It was thanks to this guy that shin protection made its way over to football. Meet Samuel Widdowson. He was a cricketer and a footballer. He played for Nottingham Forest back in the late 1800s, and he wanted a way to protect his legs from nasty tackles. Apparently, he'd broken his leg in a match against Sheffield United in 1874 and wanted to stop it from happening again. Naturally, his mind drifted to his other favourite sport, where players had been wearing these pads. Story goes, Widdowson cut up his cricket pads, sewed them into his socks and popped them on before taking to the footy pitch. Ta-da! Shin pads. Like all great genius inventors, everyone took the mickey at first. To be fair, he probably looked quite stupid running around with these on. But it's thought his whole Nottingham Forest team then began wearing them from 1887, and the first known use of them in a match was in 1894, in a match between Newcastle and the then Woolwich Arsenal. Eventually, FIFA clocked on that this protection was pretty important for footballers. Multiple studies have shown wearing shin pads clearly reduces the risk of players getting lower leg injuries. And so in 1990, basically 100 years after Widdowson first put them on, shin pads were made compulsory. It became a part of Law 4 of IFAB. That's the body responsible for setting the laws of the game internationally. But the law doesn't actually specify anything about measurements of shin pads. It just says pads must be made of a suitable material and be of an appropriate size to provide reasonable protection. It's really vague, and players can get away with a lot. A lot of grassroots clubs are choosing to ban micro shin pads for obvious reasons though, especially after a 15-year-old player from Penistone Church broke his leg while wearing them. Still no change from IFAB though. That's why Grealish and co can still get away with these ones, which are no bigger than a credit card and which seem to offer little to no protection whatsoever.
D4 damager. Power to the people's back once again. For the renegade master. D4 damager. With the ill behaviour's back once again.
Good evening. This is the Sports Bar Weekender here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside the former Wycombe striker, the big man himself, Adebayo Akinfenwa. We've been chatting about Thomas Tuchel's selection for the England tour. Do you know what's mad? Just done an hour on it. There's so many people still waiting to have their say on it. Looking forward to that. And keep your calls coming. 03717 223344. I don't even think we scratched the surface, mate.
Nah.
I genuinely don't. Some of the shouts we like we say, we haven't really talked about Jed Spence being in there. You know, we talked a bit about Ivan Toney. A lot of it's been on your best mate and cheerleader Jordan Henderson, of course. But yeah, so many other things to have a chat about. Harry Maguire, of course, another big omission from that squad. So keep those calls coming in. Something else we have to talk about, though, because it's been a day of huge news that's been overshadowed a bit with everything going on with England. But Pep Guardiola has been now confirmed that he will be leaving Manchester City. Before I get your thoughts on that, they had a very special guest on Drive earlier, Carl Walker, who won multiple trophies, of course, with Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. He was speaking earlier with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on how Pep got the best out of his players.
A really good manager, not just a manager on the pitch for tactics as well.
Did he ever lose it?
Oh, 100%.
That proper?
Yeah.
Hairdryer.
I wouldn't say hairdryer, but smashing boards and tactics boards and everything like that.
At you?
Most of the time, yeah. There were certain.
Stop thinking about your dinner.
there were certain players that he could probably, and I've said this before, but he could have a go at. So I feel that other players, you've probably been in a changing room before where you have a go at someone and you've lost them. There's no point in you shouting at that person at that precise moment in time because you're going to lose them on a game. But other players, you can shout at them and you get a reaction, or you can shout at them to get a reaction out of the other lads. And I feel that, me, Ruben Diaz, Edison, Jack, Erling to a certain degree, definitely Aguero.
He used to scream at him?
Definitely Aguero, yeah. And I think Kevin, in certain times when he needed to, he would come a bit, he was all fair game.
Wow. Who never got screamed at? Who was his favourite?
Bernardo Silva.
I knew it.
Yeah, Bernardo. It's his son.
You knew that was coming, didn't you? Teacher's pet. Yeah. That's amazing insight, isn't it, into that dressing room? But it's so interesting to hear about the man-manager side of him, because obviously we know, he's changed English football with his tactics. But out of interest, in your playing days too, were you a player a bit like Carl Walker there, where the manager would shout at you and that would bring the best out of you, or were you the other side? Do you think?
Both, and where he said managers would know, look, if I can shout at B, everybody else would then be like, all right, look, let's fall into play. So it was a bit of both. I was a bit of both sometimes. And good managers know when players need to be shouted at. I would tell you now, don't shout at me, just chat to me. And then there's been managers that shouted at me and just made me erupt in the second half. But if you had asked me, I'd have said, don't shout at me, So good managers know. And I'm telling you, that man management where they can pick, and it's really that, because there's multiple players. And just like Carl Walker said, there's players that you need an arm around. And as the culture and the dynamics of the changing room, we know that. We know certain players who are sensitive, when we know certain players that managers just like, you know what, you're the one I'm going to scream at. So when you hear stuff like that, of course, not to the elite level that they played at, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's from grassroots to the very top. It's just that man management. Good managers know how to bring out different characteristics on players.
And with him going, I mean, it is going to change the landscape of English football, isn't it? In a huge way. And in a lot of ways, it is quite exciting. It's definitely exciting for Arsenal fans, isn't it?
Yeah, man, and worrying for the rest of the world if Arsenal dominate. I tell you, I don't even sugarcoat that. Oh, Arsenal fans were talking when they wasn't winning. Oh, Lord. But yeah, listen, and I think football, I think sometimes, when you're in it, you can't see what's over the horizons. And it's the same, when Klopp left and then when certain players leave, you're like, oh, how would it be? But listen, football moves on and football will continue to move on. And it's exciting. It's now who's going to come out of the pack, because there's going to be another team that's going to come out of the pack next season. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
Mighty Newcastle United, mate, I'll tell you that for free. Yeah. They'll be right up there.
Yeah, right, listen, Eddie Howe, for me...
England's Dan Burn leading the charge.
The manager, I'm a massive fan of Eddie Howe anyway, so who knows what they'll do, man. Listen, Liverpool, come on, let's get back to the top. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. When we look at, obviously, the greatest Premier League managers, obviously Pep is in that conversation in a big, big way. Where does he rank for you?
It's hard. It's a hard one because I do think recent bias, it does, because, like I said, you're in it.
Would you have him number one?
I actually think I would have him as number
Would
one.
you?
I actually do. Like it's mad close with him and Alex Ferguson. It's mad close.
Why do you have Pep?
I just think when you look at it, even when we saw it, it's 20 trophies in 10 years. And if he was there as long as Alex Ferguson, listen, he surpassed him in Premier Leagues. It just does. You look at it, you look at the amount, and then also when you're talking about he changed the landscape. And listen, I'll get it. Like Alex Ferguson, he reinvented 3 or 4 different Man United teams. Listen, I understand, and the era was different, and I get all of that. Again, I do think recency bias does always play a part into it. And when Pep's come in and, listen, 100 points, 90, winning Premier League 4 times.
Beating Klopp's Liverpool, by the way.
I'm telling you this now, as a Liverpool supporter, and I know it was great rivalry for them to look at it, but Klopp's CV or resume, if Pep wasn't around, Klopp would go down as, and we know he's an elite manager, but I'm just talking about going up against that. They took football in regards to the ability of football to a whole nother level. So for me, I think Pep goes as number one. But listen, if somebody said Alex Ferguson, I'm not dying on the hill. But for me, I'm like, you know what? I would just say, you know what? Pep's number one.
Yeah, big call. 03717223344. We have been chatting about Thomas Tuchel's England squad. Let's chat to Ellis. He's a Chelsea fan. Ellis, how did you feel when you saw that squad come out today? How you doing, mate?
Hello, boys. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. I thought it was a joke, to be honest. I thought he was having a laugh with his mates.
Really?
That's strong, yeah? Where?
It's like he had a bet. It's like he had a bet. There's so many. Obviously, I can only pinpoint 3. Palmer from Madueke.
Okay.
Obviously, as a Chelsea fan, I'm going to say it, but look at the Euros. He was our best player coming off the bench, and assist for Watkins, goal in the final, and he offers everything. I would say him and Kane are the 2 that can really get a game by its neck.
He was in form, though, heading into that Euros. That's the only thing I will say. Let's be honest, he's not shown the same form.
No, he hasn't. And for me, it's been frustrating because I back him so much. But then you look at people like John Stones, experience, he hasn't played.
Yep, I agree with that one, yep.
And I think Maguire should go in. I don't like Man United, can't stand him. He's so important. He's so important for England, always steps up. My other argument could have been Levi Colwill for Stones because they both haven't played this season. Colwill's versatile, can play left back as well if needed. But the main one for me, boys, Lewis Hall for Jed Spence.
Oh, thank you. Say it louder. Say it louder, Ellis.
Is that one, yeah? Okay.
Boys, I'll say, right, my missus and her family are all from Newcastle, right? They love it. Lewis Hall is incredible. He's up and down, never out of position. Jed Spence, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Chelsea fan, right? Jed Spence is the only player I've seen with no feet.
Mate, Ellis, do you know what? The other thing because I watched Thomas Tuchel try and explain that Jed Spence decision, and he started going on about one-on-one defending and how good Jed Spence is at it. And I was like, have you watched Lewis Hall? Have you actually watched Lewis Hall? Did you watch his game and performance against Barcelona? Did you watch him? Against Arsenal, lock down Bukayo Saka on a number of occasions. The man is a brilliant one-on-one defender. He offers so much going forward. I don't get it.
At the time, I was like, because obviously Chelsea let him go, and I was like, we got Cucurella, he's incredible and all this, and now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, do you know what? That's another mistake we've done. I mean, letting Madueke go, I'm not fussed. I mean, we've got rid of Madueke, and now other players are turning like him, like Pedro Neto, but that's a different case. But Lewis Hall is incredible. Him and O'Reilly are by far the 2 best fullbacks in the league.
Yeah.
Livramento going, you could see his injuries and put Trent in there. There's so many that could change. Tony for Calvert-Lewin. Wharton, I don't think Wharton should go because he got Anderson, but you could play Trent in midfield. and then have him as a backup right back. I mean, Reece James is starting every day of the week if he's fit.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's so many boys, and I looked at it. I had to rub my eyes. I didn't even wear glasses. I thought, am I seeing this right?
Ellis, got to ask you. You said, is it your wife's a Geordie? How's your Geordie accent, mate?
Oh, God.
How's it coming along?
Mate, I'll be viral if I try it.
Go on.
All I can say is, way hey, lads. That's it.
Well, hey, lads.
That is it. That is it.
Got to
And I
work
don't
on that,
like-
mate.
I'm like, she's like, yeah, you've got to support Newcastle when Chelsea are playing. I'm like, I wish they lost to West Ham.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh, you can't want your team to lose, but yeah, I mean, we were talking, weren't we, to a Leeds fan earlier, and saying, you know, for the good of football, do you want your Leeds to lie down? Look, I still think Spurs are in massive trouble. By the way,
I actually don't. I don't. I think so. I think Spurs at least match West Ham's results. I think Spurs stay up. I do.
I boys, I see it as like, with no bias, because from as a football perspective, I look at it and I think Everton are going to want to get something out of Spurs, and I think they will, because Spurs will crumble under this serious pressure. I mean, last year they were 17th, but they had that gap. This year it's so tight, and I think they'll get nervy. But honestly, I watched West Ham, and I'm like, even though I want West Ham to stay up, I don't think they can. They are atrocious.
Yeah, it's true. Ellis, great call, mate. Enjoy your bank holiday. 03717 22 This is the Sports Bar Weekender with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app today for all the latest odds and offers. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
What was your overriding emotion last night, watching it all unfold and feeling as you do for this great club?
I think for me, it's Aston Villa are a sleeping giant. You know, European Cup winners in 1982. All you ever heard was, "Oh, you wasn't born. You wasn't born when Villa won that. They've only won last trophy was 30 years ago." So it was that pressure, sort of that monkey off the back for Aston Villa fans and the players and the football club. But emotion as well, Jim, because I spoke to so many Villa fans, parents that have passed away, you know, family members that have passed away, and what this would have meant to those people that aren't here today. And people are going through a lot. You know, everyone's going through a lot, football fans. What last night can do to give people a boost, what they're going through in their life. It was amazing to see my people, my fellow Brummies, so happy.
Brilliant. Your people. You're right, your people. In terms of legendary status, Gabby, where is this group now?
Oh, they're legends. And I say this all the time, Jim, I don't like to be called a legend. I feel legends of a football club need to win something. I really do. The 1982 players, they're legends of the football club. Now, these group of players are, and the one player, I don't like to pick one, but the one player that stands out for me is our captain. Scotland are lucky to have him, John McGinn. Immense, and I was so happy for him, what he's been through for this football club. The small price that Aston Villa paid for him, was it 2.5 million? What a player, what a nice guy, and what a captain.
Gabby, can I ask you personally, did you watch with regret last night that you never quite experienced a night like that?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, we got to the Carabao Cup final, we got to the FA Cup final and lost, but to get to a European final and get it over the line, the pressure that was on the players, because they were highly favourites in the game as well, to win against Freiburg, it wasn't like a jealous feeling. It was like, wow, I missed out. Wow, what I'll do to be on that pitch to share that, because the players know, Jim, the players get it, what it means to the Aston Villa fans to win another European Cup title.
Good evening. This is the Justice for Lewis Hall Sports Bar Weekender on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink, alongside Adebayo Akinfenwa. Of course, we've been chatting about the England squad. Keep your calls coming in, 03717 22 3344. It's time now, though, to take a look at the weekend's Premier League fixtures with talkSPORT Bet.
Bring it on with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app or visit talksportbet.com for exclusive offers and bonuses. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Right, obviously, the relegation battle's going right down to the wire. The two games everyone's going to have eyes and ears on, and obviously we're going to keep you across it on the talkSPORT network. West Ham against Leeds and Tottenham against Everton. Tottenham need just a point to stay up. West Ham have to beat Leeds and hope that Spurs lose. So it is in Spurs' favour, but I still think this is going right to the wire. But what I want to ask you about here, I don't know if you've seen this, right? The Tottenham captain, Christian Romero, has decided that rather than be at that game on the final day, he's got an injury, right? So he's not going to play.
All right. Rather
than be at that game, as the club captain, he's flying to Argentina to watch his boyhood club play instead.
Hold on.
The club captain.
Hold on. So Romero, again, club captain, last game of the season, probably their most important game, is going to go watch another team
in Argentina.
No, that can't be true.
Yeah. It's mad.
It can't be. That can't. Honestly, it can't. Do you know what? The reason why I said it can't be true? Me, who, I'm not saying I was a rebel or a maverick, but my gaffer gave me 3 years in a row. He allowed me to go to the Super Bowl. So he allowed me to miss a game in the season to go to the Super Bowl branding work, which he knew when I signed.
What injury did you say you had at the time?
Nah, to be fair, both the first time he knew when I signed. The second time I actually did have a hamstring injury. I know there was talk about B doesn't run that fast. How does he get a hamstring injury? I genuinely did. It was the only time I ran the channel. Never again. But anyway, I'm trying to fathom it because I don't know how. And like I said, I gone to the gaffer. Look, gaffer, this opportunity's come up. Can I go? You know, but I couldn't even fathom going to the gaffer on the last game of the season.
Hold on, let's do it. Right, I'm the manager. Right, go on.
Hey, gaffer, how you doing?
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not too
It's
bad.
a big game Sunday, isn't it? I know you're injured.
Yeah, I know. I'm just coming in to talk to you. But
obviously you're going to be there, club captain, everything. Have you chatted to your teammates?
Yeah, listen, I talked to the boys. Yeah. Boys are in good spirits.
Good
but
stuff.
Gaffer, listen, let me just say this to you. Hey, listen, Gaff, look, I just want to say, I don't know if you know, but my boyhood team, they got to the final and they're the underdogs.
Yeah, right. What's that got to do with?
No. I'm just but they just remember I said they're the underdogs. I just need you to understand that. They're the underdogs, right?
Yeah, I don't care, mate.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, look, is there any way, Gaff, not even any way, Gaff, I want to. It doesn't even come out. Let me tell you something. Anybody that knows me knows. Gaffer, listen, I got this opportunity. I got a goal. It doesn't even. I don't understand how he could say, look, Gaffer, I'm gonna go and watch my boyhood team and not be there Sunday. Even when you hear it out loud, I can't get my head around that.
Do you know what I find weird as well? Because De Zerbi was talking about it today. He said all leaders are different, etc. He almost has to come out and defend him. I think there's two things that are strange about that. Firstly, how has he not just turned to him and gone, "What are you doing, mate?
I know.
What are you doing? Of course you're at the game. Because also the other thing is, if you're a captain, right, and your club goes down, injured or not, I think it should be part of your responsibility to go out to the press after it all and say, I'm so sorry about this season, and speak to those fans. And he's not even going to be in the country.
And this is what I want to say this, and I think this just further goes back to the presence and experience of what you need to be in the changing room. So he can't affect on the pitch. He can't. But knowing that your team captain is there at the beginning, during, and at the end, good, bad, or indifferent, you got to be able to say, boys, I'm here. And manage it throughout his experience. I actually, he must not plan to play for Tottenham again.
No.
And that's not me saying, he just must not plan, because regardless of heart, he's been in the trenches with his team. He's part of them underachieving this season. And the last game, to be able to get over the line, to be able to reset and go again next season, he he chooses to be in another country to watch another team.
It's madness.
For me, that's what I'm saying. It just sounds crazy.
So what? I think you're bang on about the fact that he must know he's played his last game.
He must. There's something bigger than that. He must know. Look, he must
leave them like this.
Even if it is your last game, even if it is, to be able to be like, he's been in the trenches, and I swear when he did the injury, he was crying. Wasn't that not him?
Yep.
Like, he's been in the trenches with his boys, day in, day out. The last game, the pressure that's going to be, there's going to be some young boys there, there's going to be his teammates, and he's saying, I ain't going to lie, if I tried to do that, as much as the charisma and the stature that I had in my changing room, they would lose all respect for me, and my teammates would lose respect to say, hold on, B, you're not going to be at the game. Regardless of what, it's not like a family, it's you're going to watch another team play. And I just think that's bad.
This week, that team spirit is critical.
Massive.
Absolutely critical. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. I really want to hear from some Spurs fans on that. 03717 22 because, I mean, if I was a Tottenham fan, I would be raging about that. It makes absolutely no sense to me. How do you see this all playing out, by the way? This final day of the season?
I think Tottenham match West Ham's results. I think Leeds are playing West Ham, right?
Yeah.
Leeds are playing West Ham.
At the London Stadium.
At London Stadium. Everton's playing Tottenham. I don't know if Moyes, like I said, has got a good relationship or a bad relationship with West Ham to be like, go hard or go easy. But listen, I do think after all said and done, I think the Spurs support will go out there in numbers, and I think they'll get behind them, and I think they'll match them. I don't think it will. I think both of them will play nervous, but I think it's a draw that they need to do. May not play great, but a draw will get them over the line.
David Moyes is going to get a statue outside the Emirates, isn't he? He got the draw against Man City, which is essentially helped Arsenal win the league. If he relegates Spurs as well,
oh gosh,
he's right up there for a statue.
Jeez,
build it now. Build it now.
Arsenal season seems like it gets better and better. Wow.
It's almost too good, isn't it?
Jeez.
It's the stuff. I mean, you couldn't even write that.
I know, because I don't want West Ham to go down. I don't want Tottenham to go down. Listen, whichever goes down, goes down. But if Tottenham go down for Arsenal, it's just it's a beautiful thing. Oh wow.
Yeah, incredible. Give us a call on that Romero situation. 03717 223344. The Spurs captain will not be there. Despite the fact he's injured, he won't even be at their final game of the season, which they need a point from to survive. Madness. That was a look at the latest action thanks to talkSPORT Bet. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
Bring it on with talkSPORT Bet. Download the app or visit talksportbet.com for exclusive offers and bonuses. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
Not playing for them again.
Matt, the Spurs fan, has got in touch. Matt, what are you making of this Romero situation, mate?
Well, as the two sort of bits of luck Spurs have had this season, as far as I'm concerned, is Romero getting injured and Vicario being out. Because I think Romero is just a massive liability, and he can stay out there in Argentina as far as I'm concerned. We'll pack his locker up, we'll send it to his house, he can send the keys back in the post, he can stay there. I don't want to see him, like Hawksby said earlier in the day, I don't want to see him back at the club. He's been the worst captain Spurs have ever had, to be honest. He's terrible. He's a liability. He spreads like nervousness through the back line. He makes everyone else a liability. If the last game he played, the whole 3 out of the 4 back line got booked, and he led the line with that. And if he's out of position, he makes Van der Ven's played better when he's not been there. When he's had someone who's going to stay back, sort of like when he goes forward. Romero would end up thinking to be alongside Van der Ven and then saunter back. Or, he's always got, most defenders have got one Rick in them a game. He's got 2 or 3, and they're quite quick, all Ricks, as well.
Because he can end up with a red card quite often as well.
Oh, yeah,
Matt,
red card, penalty, sauntering back when he's gone up the pitch and not getting back to cover anybody. He's just like, and then he'll yell at someone else and make them nervous.
Do you know what, Matt? I'm trying to think about why De Zerbi has allowed him to go there, and I genuinely think it might just be a case of don't even be around this squad then. If you don't want to be here, you don't want to be there.
Get out.
Matt, let me ask you a question then. Wouldn't you say this is a slight insight to the inside of Tottenham this season? If your club captain is not going to want to be there with the teammates on the final day, and listen, De Zerbi could just be saying you're the one bad apple, and I'm not saying he is, but I mean, his characteristics are showing that he doesn't want to be there on the final day to support his teammates. But is this an insight to being like, we can see why certain things have gone wrong this season?
Yeah. He thinks he's better than what he is, a lot better than what he actually is. I think he's obviously had someone carrying him in the Argentina side, because I think he might think he caused them some problems at the World Cup. But other than that, he'll play brilliantly, and we can flog him for 60 million to Real Madrid. That'd be nice.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I'll be honest with you, with the way that he's played. Matt, how does it all go next season? Not next season, this Sunday. Then, do you think you stay up?
Well, I think we probably squeeze out a draw, maybe, or Richarlison finally turns up and does something against his old club, and there's a blinder and scores a couple. Or because he's had a couple of stinkers on the run at the moment. He's not, he's missed some blaring chances, one against Leeds and then a couple against, Chelsea. So if he's due a good game. Moani's been, he's just been nothing. It's sort of like, what a waste of time he's been. But we haven't had any choice.
Yeah, it's going to be nervy, isn't it?
Are you nervous, Matt? You nervous? You nervous?
Not at the moment, but I'll ask me again 3 o'clock Sunday, and I'll probably say I'm thinking, running around, pacing and waiting for the thing to be over, to be honest. But,
great stuff, Matt. Thanks for your call. 717 2233 if you want to have your say on that Romero situation. We should say, for Romero's benefit, that we will keep you across that game on the talkSPORT network. He might be out in Argentina, needs a little update from what's going on at the club he's captain of.
That's bad, man. Wow.
At the club he's captain.
I can't get that. But
have a little earphone in.
For me, I'm telling you, part of me saying this can't be true. I can't get my head out. The last game of the season, how important. It's not like it's a nothing game. If it was a nothing game, I totally get it. This is a real defining moment in Tottenham's history. And my man said, yeah, cool, I got Argentina. Oh, wow.
03717 223344. That was a look at the latest action. Thanks to talkSPORT Bet. This is talkSPORT.
It is a sensational story and so many strands to it. And I've seen a lot of Southampton fans who've come out in condemnation of the club. They say this is the darkest day in their long history. And I think a lot of Southampton fans are quite embarrassed at the way in which their name has been dragged through the mud. As you say, the punishment is immediate expulsion from that playoff final on Saturday, the £200 million game. So they have been stolen of the right to possibly get back into the Premier League the first time of asking, and a 4-point deduction for the start of next season. That's because, as I understand it, the EFL argued that the playoffs needed to be treated as a separate cup competition. Obviously, Southampton admitted spying on Middlesbrough, so that's where that punishment comes from. They also admitted over the course of this hearing with the Independent Commission spying on at least 2 other Championship teams, which is why there's also a points penalty for next season. Southampton appealed it immediately, not because they feel they're innocent, but because they feel the punishment doesn't really befit the crime. One of the things I was told coming out of St Mary's is they feel this is unprecedented. It is, because there isn't a precedent. I know that Marcelo Bielsa escaped with a fine, but it was only after that incident ahead of the Leeds final playoff with Derby that it was put in the rule book. So this is uncharted territory. Southampton have told staff in an email that I've seen from the Chief Executive, Phil Parsons, their legal team are confident they've got a strong case. They're going to keep preparing for this game on Saturday. I don't think it's going to be overturned in terms of Southampton being allowed to play this final. What could happen is a sort of halfway house where the points deduction gets rescinded. But I think there's enough evidence that Southampton will not take their place at Wembley. We're hearing stories of analysts dressing as staff wearing the kits of non-league Eastleigh when Ipswich were using their training ground in order to spy. So this is quite sinister in many ways. This is not just some bloke who's turned up at the Middlesbrough training ground and filmed a few minutes of training. So I think they're banged to rights. I think they've shown very little contrition. I think it's poor that we haven't had a statement from Southampton in the aftermath of this punishment. We still haven't heard officially from the club.
Yeah.
We're a long way down the line now. Surely they should have had something prepared.
Good evening, this is the Sports Bar Weekender here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I've got Adebayo Akinfenwa alongside me. You could win a trip, by the way, to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, courtesy of Adidas. You and a mate could be in Dallas, Texas on June 17th. All right. It's in England against Croatia, live. We're talking flights, hotel, spending money, tickets, and the official Trionder match ball, all included. Head to talksportwin.com to enter and for full T's and C's.
The ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Now, we're less than a month away till the World Cup. How exciting is that? And each week we'll be keeping you updated on how the key English players are performing across the continent. Here's European football expert Andy Brassel on who to look out for this week across Europe.
It's one more time for Harry Kane this weekend before he joins up with England as Bayern attempt to seal a double against Stuttgart in Saturday's DFB Pokal final in Berlin. With his seasonal total at 58, he could even reach the 60-goal mark for his club. Jude Bellingham and Real Madrid end their disappointing season as they play Athletic Bilbao in Alvaro Arbeloa's final game in charge, also on Saturday night at the Bernabeu, with Trent Alexander-Arnold also involved in head of what you imagine will be a restful summer. Marcus Rashford and champions Barcelona go to Valencia, and it remains to be seen whether this will be his last appearance for the Catalans as his loan from Manchester United comes to an end. It's a big one for Jamie Vardy, his Cremonese facing Cesc Fabregas's Como as they attempt to avoid relegation on the final day of the Serie A season, reliant on results elsewhere. Meanwhile, Fikayo Tomori and Ruben Loftus-Cheek will try and console themselves at both missing out on the England squad by securing Champions League football for Milan, which they will do if they beat Cagliari at San Siro on Sunday night.
Yeah, definitely will be a restful summer for Trent Alexander-Arnold, not included in Thomas Tuchel's squad. For a more in-depth review, by the way, on all that's happening across European football, make sure to tune in to the Trans-Europe Express show with Kev Hatchard and Andy Brassel from 11 o'clock this Sunday evening. You can also listen to the best bits on Danny Kelly's Trans-Europe Express podcast, which is available every week on the talkSPORT app or via your favourite podcast platforms. It is a fantastic show and well worth a listen. Let's go back to your calls. We were talking about Christian Romero and the fact that the Spurs captain has decided, look, he's injured, right? He's not going to be playing a part, but he's decided to go to Argentina rather than be at that massive game against Everton where getting a point will keep Tottenham up. Absolutely crazy. Let's talk to Marcus, who's a Spurs fan. I mean, Marcus, what do you make of this?
Hi guys, how you doing? Great.
Hey,
show,
what's
guys.
going on, Mark?
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, well, basically, right. I mean, I grew up as a Tottenham fan, right? The likes of Perryman, Gary Mabbott, recent times you had Ledley King, right? That's three legends straight away off the top of my head. Romero, like your last caller, he's the worst Tottenham captain in my lifetime, right? He's a liability. It's almost like he got his World Cup medal and he's walking around town saying, "Look, I'm Billy Big Boots. You can't tell me what to do," right? So do you know what, right? That game that he got injured, he went off crying. I would say, and I hope you don't ever play for us again, mate. We ain't going to miss you. We don't really want you. You don't want to be here. So he works out for both parties. Because not being funny, he didn't help us during the season. He ain't helped us when he's been injured. When he's been fit on the pitch, he hasn't helped us. He's like a ticking time bomb, he is, ready to explode. You know, I remember one game, he got booked, and within 20 seconds, he was diving in again. And you think, mate, you're the captain. Stay on your feet and play the game properly. So if he wants to go to Argentina and watch his boyhood team play football, let him go. Let him go. He wants to go to Atletico.
Do you know what? I think you're right, Mark, because I genuinely think, because we were talking about, when we were doing that little role play bio, when you were saying, like, I couldn't even say it to the manager. You couldn't even request that from the manager. I genuinely think he's gone in there, he's asked the question. I think you're right, Marcus. De Zerbi's just gone, do you know what, mate? Fine. Just go. Just go, because we don't need someone like you around the squad at this time.
I'm going to tell you, I'm seeing this from a player's point of view, right? And so again, you watched Marcus, you watched Tottenham way more than me, so I wouldn't. But I'm looking at it as if the club captain, and I can actually see why Tottenham are where they are, because if the club captain doesn't want to be there, I'm not even saying for the fans, which that's definitely an element, but for his teammates. Listen, I get it. He's injured, and listen, we've been injured, but there's sometimes when a manager would just say to an injured player, "Come to the away game to be there for the boys," let alone to be at home. This is at home. This is why I'm trying to say like it's a joke, because this is not like they're travelling to Leeds or Newcastle.
But even
and
then,
no. But I'm saying that it's not like they've got a travel squad. Yeah. And they're just saying, you know what, they'll come back. This is a home fixture, which you've got the youth team that will turn up there. But it just shows me, in outside looking in, is this is what the problem is, or one of the problems why Tottenham are struggling, because your team captain is not going to be there. So there must be a disconnect with the players, you know. But yeah, listen, I mean, Marcus says it, like he's a liability, but we said it. I don't think he plays for you lot again. He can't.
How nervy are you, Marcus, about the weekend?
Well, you know what, right? If last season we finished 17th and there were 3 teams worse than us, and then fast forward 12 months, and now we are one of the 3 worst teams, right? So in all honesty, as a Tottenham fan of over 40 years, it breaks my heart to say it, but we deserve to go down.
Don't say that.
It's true, though. It's true.
We ain't made no progress since last year. We were 17th last year, and where are we now in 2 weeks, 1 game rest of the season in May, 17th. So where was the progress? What makes me cry? You've got likes of Brentford, Bournemouth and Brighton, all progress. Crystal Palace, all progress. All these teams who've got half our budget, right, have all progressed, right, all got better. And you look at Tottenham, you think, what are you doing? The likes of Romero, he's captain in name only. He's not a captain material. It seems to me he walks around with his World Cup medals, walking around all day saying, look what I've got, giving it all. I don't know him personally, obviously, but he comes across as arrogant. I can say what I like, I do what I like. He's made comments to the press. Right, he's gone behind the manager's back. He's gone over his head, said comments like that. So what he's done today, what he's done now in May, right? Go back throughout this season. Look at all the things he's done. Yeah. Great going to the press, getting sent off, getting booked. You know what? Bye, Romero. Thanks for your service. Leave your boots or leave your shirt at the door on your way out, and have a good World Cup and wish you all the best, mate. Because you're a disgrace, mate. If players like you should be leading by examples, and you're like I said, you're the captain, and you got youth. Imagine you're a youth player. You got a World Cup winner in your squad.
This is true.
It's true.
You're meant to look up to him, but you're thinking, look at he's getting away with that.
Marcus, let me ask you a question then. Let me ask you this question, right? You stay up last game of the season. He's still there next season. Is there any way Romero can get himself back in the fans' good books?
What, you think he's going to come out and apologise for his behaviour, his performance, and say, I'm really sorry for what I said and done last season. I'm going to, because footballers don't do that, do they? Footballers are so self-centred.
I've said sorry sometimes. Don't get twisted. I've messed up a few times. I've said sorry. I'm just saying. No, I'm playing God. I'm joking, God. Oh, God. No, so for you, he's done. You don't want to see him wear a shirt.
He's done. That last game that he played, he went off crying, and everyone was saying, he's crying because of the World Cup. Of course he was, because any player getting injured in sort of April, May before the World Cup, they're concerned about, oh my gosh, my World Cup place. He weren't concerned about, oh my gosh, I want to miss Tottenham's last few games. He weren't thinking about Tottenham. But the joke is that obviously he couldn't get treated at Tottenham's medical centre because Tottenham's medical centre is rubbish. And it's the fact we had so many injured players. So you know what? Go to Argentina, get yourself fit, go and have a good World Cup, mate. But don't ever come back to the lane ever again, mate. Please.
Yeah.
You know what? In my opinion, Mickey Van der Ven should have been captain, someone like that who's semi-trustworthy. Because I remember him and Jed Spence disrespected Thomas Frank during the season anyway. So in that respect, you're thinking there's a lot of players in that team who are just what they call prima donnas, walking around, strutting around, picking their £80,000, £90,000 a week, thinking, I don't care if we go down, I don't care if we go down. That's the attitude they've been giving all season. I don't care if we go down. But the bottom line is, they've been on the phone to their agent saying, get us a move, get us a move, get us a move. So let Romero go to the World Cup, let him put him in the shop window. Whoever wants to buy him, nearest offer wins. Nearest offer takes him. Cheapest offer takes him. I don't care. If we could get him out on a free, that'd be even better. But whatever we get from him, we get from him. But like I said, it's been a dismal 2 years, and this is the result of 2 years of bad management at Tottenham, bad recruitment at Tottenham, bad play. A couple before I go, we sold Brendan Johnson, right, who was last season's top scorer. We sold him. So whatever happened behind the scenes between him and Thomas Frank, we'll never know. But for Thomas Frank to sold you, your top scorer from last season, the guy who scored the winning goal in the cup final, and we went and sold him. And suddenly it's like, okay, we'll rely on Solanke when he's fit, or Richarlison where he's got his head screwed on, or Tell, or the other guy. What's the other guy? The other French fella.
Colomani.
Sorry?
Colomani.
Yeah. Who are these players, mate? Not being fun. Who are these players? Odibert. Who are these players? Right,
mate, it's a mess, isn't it? It's an absolute mess.
Mate.
Yeah.
It's a mess, mate. Yeah, it's a mess, mate. So,
Marcus, great call, mate. Great call. Hope it goes well on Sunday and it's not too nervy for you. But do you know what? I do think Marcus is right. I just feel this situation with Romero is almost like the icing on the cake of the toxicity that we've seen at Tottenham throughout this season. Yeah. Anyway, keep your calls coming in. 03717 22 3344. This is talkSPORT.
Explain what the story
is. Well, basically, Romero's injured. He can't play. Now, Spurs obviously played the biggest game of the season on Sunday. River Plate are playing against his former team on the last day of the season as well. Both teams can win the league, all right? His former club, that one that he grew up with. I don't know I can't remember the name. Anyway, they kick off at 7 on Sunday. He's gone to Argentina to watch the game instead of Spurs against Everton. Now that for me, the club captain not there on the final day of the season. If that doesn't sum up Spurs right there, that is an absolute joke. Now there might be an argument to say he's injured, he's gone out to Argentina to get treatment because of the World Cup.
I don't care.
No, I'm the same. The club captain has to be at the final game of the season. Why is the club captain not at the final day of the season? He's going to watch River Plate. That is outrageous. Outrageous. Yeah. That is a sackable offence. Yeah, and whoever's allowed that to happen, whether it's come from the top or Roberto De Zerbi, they should be ashamed of themselves. It sums up Tottenham in every aspect that is allowed to happen. Like, if he don't want to be there, fine. No, you won't want to be there.
No, it's not fine.
No, it's not fine.
That's not fine.
But no, I get that. But in terms of he don't want to be at the club, he wants out, right? Get that. But his teammates will want Romero around the dressing room. His teammates. The people that he's played around, the people that he's played alongside, he's been in the trenches with, and he's decided to go and watch River Plate on the last day of the season. It's disgusting.
No, I am absolutely. When Ryan told me this, I looked at him and had to gaze in his eyes and said, "What are you talking about?" I'm thinking, what game is that day? Can he get back from Argentina? Why is he doing that anyway? No, he's going to miss one.
Yeah, they kick off 7:30 on Sunday.
That is.
It's outrageous, mate. It's outrageous.
Maybe he knows what's happening. Maybe he knows you're going to play in Championship football and he's thinking, do you know what, right? I know where we're going. I'd rather go and watch a decent...
That's not the point. That's not the point.
And Spurs.
That's not the point. You can't get away with that. You're a club captain. Club captain is not there on the final day of the season. That is...
It's disgusting.
It is so bad. So bad.
Good evening, this is the Sports Bar Weekender on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside Adebayo Akinfenwa. It's trivia time in just a minute, and we're going to need your help with the questions. So get your calls in. Producer Teddy is in the studio. He says it's a belter. So he's backing himself quite a lot, but I'm looking forward to this. We're going to need your help, though. 03717 22 33 44. By the way, the latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is now available. Brilliant show. Matt Ford and comedian Susie McCabe speak with former Scotland midfielder Jackie McNamara to reflect on Steve Clarke's squad announcement and talk about the Tartan Army's chances in America this summer. That's How to Win the World Cup, available now on the talkSPORT app or your favourite podcast provider. Right then, producer Ted, how you doing, mate, firstly?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. New hairstyle for you.
Yeah.
Shaved head now.
Shaved off, went to Bali. Thought I'd cut it all off.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think it looks sharp, though.
I like it. Do you like Bali? I went Bali.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Very nice.
Nice place.
Very nice place.
I look a lot more Millwall now, though.
Yeah, you do, weirdly.
Yeah.
Because what you've done is you've done the little gap year look, haven't you?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
exactly
no.
what I've
So I honestly found myself when I was out there. And that's why you've shaved your head. But you've come back and you're like, yeah, all right.
Keep it.
all right.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Anyway, what you got for us,
Right,
trivia-wise?
so, as you know, Arsenal won the league. Everyone's delight.
All right, cool.
The last time they won the league, 03-04.
Yeah.
2003-04. Premier League top goal scorers. Top 15, I want.
Oh, my word. It's a good one.
It is deep. I said it's
a good one, that.
Oh, what? I'm lost. Say that again.
Top 15 scorers.
15, yeah. 2003-04, Premier League top goal scorers. I want the top 15.
Right. I mean, there's some obvious ones because we know that it was the Invincible season.
It was.
Of course.
It was.
So I'm going to kick us all off.
Go on, then.
With the one everyone will know. Thierry Henry.
Correct. Number one. 30
we
goals.
got one in. So we can be happy with that. Like I say, we're going to need your help on this. 03717 22 33 44. Bayo, you got any names floating about?
I'm like trying to think who were they going up against? Was that 2003, 2004, or 2002, 2003?
2003-04.
I've got a bit of a rogue one.
Go on then.
Go on.
I want to say Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
He is on, 14th.
Oh!
12 goals.
Come on!
So 12 goals and over. That's what we need.
Sorry, I've meant to lock it in, aren't I?
Oh, you are, yeah. Forgot about that rule.
That's your fault, though.
Yeah, that is my fault.
You shaved your head. You've forgotten the rules.
Brain cells are gone.
They were never there,
Hasselbank's
mate.
14, yeah?
Hasselbank,
is,
number
yeah.
14. Yeah. Oh, it's a tricky one, this, though. Do you know what? There's loads of names in my head.
Not me. I'm literally... So, Henri, who was his partner at them times? Bergkamp?
Ooh.
Yeah, it would have been.
It would have been Bergkamp.
Are you locking it in, Bayo?
Bergkamp must have got... What was Hasselbank's?
He got 12 goals.
Bergkamp must have got...
Come on. Dennis must have got more.
He must have got more.
Are you going to lock it in?
Let's lock in Bergkamp.
Incorrect.
Oh, my word.
What did Bergkamp get? Oh, you don't know. He's not on there.
I don't know.
Oh, so they didn't even get up to 10. Bloody hell,
On
Bert.
fire today, Ted, aren't you?
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
What did Bergkamp get? Don't know, mate.
Nah, I wasn't even born this year, so.
Were you not?
2005.
Were you born?
Young buck. Oh, snap.
05.
Yeah, February 05 I was.
So what's your first football memory then?
Aguero's goal. Was that 2011?
No way.
Yeah.
Swear down.
That was 2012.
2012, yeah. Yeah.
Great, that's your first football in... Oh, gosh, you made me
Yeah.
feel
I was
old.
a Man City fan at the time. I switched.
Who are you now?
Millwall now.
Is that since you shaved your head?
Yeah.
Well, we've only got two.
By the way, Bergkamp got 4 goals.
Oh.
That
So
season.
you're well off.
Yeah, I know. Well, I bet you he got like 15 assists.
We need a bit of help here. We've got
we need
Thierry
some
Henry.
help. I'm right now, and we've got Hasselbank.
Yeah, Hasselbank, and then Bayo's had an absolute shocker. We've hit the post already, so we need your help. John is a Spurs fan. John, what you got for us, mate?
I've been put on the spot here. Good evening, Ollie. Good evening. I'm going to say Zola.
Oh, Zola. Oh, is that a bit? Is that a
we
bit
got,
late?
listen, like, right now, the way you and ah'd, it was like me and the Bergkamp. So we just going to put...
Do you know what it is, John? The thing is, right, I've said Hasselbank. So, do you know what I mean? Like, is Zola a bit... I think he's a bit early.
Nah.
Sorry, it's a bit late for him, isn't it? Is it?
I don't even know if Zola and Hasselbank, but Zola didn't get more goals than Hasselbank that season, even if they did play together.
Right, John, do you want to lock it on? Do you want to change?
No, we can just park. No, we can park that. We can come back. We can come back to John's one. We can park that one. We come back to that. We'll come back that. Good looking at with that. We'll come back to that.
We'll park that one. We'll write it down. Graham is a Leeds fan. Graham, who you got for us, mate?
Come, Graham, if you've got like a couple.
I've got a definite for you, and I've got a punt. So a definite, I think, would be Ruud van Nistelrooy, given it was the invincible year. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy would definitely.
Yeah, we'll lock that in.
Graham, you locking it in, mate?
Locking it in. I like the confidence. What number was Van Nistelrooy?
Number 3, 20 goals.
And then I think the risky one. We were talking about Arsenal's strike partner. I don't think it was Bass. I think it was Perez, Robert Perez.
Oh, shout! Oh, is it a bit? I love the shout.
No, man, I'm to be fair,
love the shout.
Because I'm telling you, Henry wasn't the only one that was scoring goals.
He weren't. He weren't
the only one in that invincible. He wasn't the only one.
Oh, right, Graham, are you locking it in?
I'll give it a whirl. I'll lock it in.
Go on.
That's correct.
Oh,
Graham! This is Graham came in with the energy. I like
14
it.
goals.
Graham, Golden Graham, unbelievable.
He's in 12, 14 goals.
12.
Wow, it's a great shout there from Graham.
So Nistelrooy was at United.
Yeah. Is it Man United? That's a good shout.
So that means what was that?
2003, 04.
There's some other names in my head, mate.
You calculate.
There are some other names in my head. But we need your help. 03717 22 33 44. Let's quickly go to Johnny, who's a Spurs fan. Johnny, what you got for us?
Right. Are we doing the quiz, or are we doing the old talking about what are we actually doing?
No, we're on the quiz. We're on the quiz now.
Mate.
We're on the quiz.
We can have a quick chat about Romero if you want, but first we need a shout from you.
Okay, what's the question?
What's about Ted? Ted, take it.
2003-04 Premier League top goal scorers.
Top 15.
Top 15.
We've got Henry, we've gone Van Nistelrooy, we've got Perez, and we've got Hasselbank.
What are the best players in the Premier League?
Top scorers.
Top goal scorers.
Oh, okay. Well, bloody hell. Who's the top goal scorers? Okay.
Who was scoring for Spurs round then? 03-04.
Yeah, who was scoring for Spurs?
Klinsmann.
Well, I think it's a bit late for Klinsmann, isn't it?
And he just threw out
Klinsmann. In the Premier League, yeah.
I said Klinsmann.
Yeah. Premier League started 92.
No, it's 2003-04 from that season in particular.
Oh, 2003, 2004. God,
when Arsenal went invincibles, you must know. You're a Tottenham supporter. That must be engraved in you.
No, it was a long time ago.
Mate, he's got to erase that.
You just dismissed that. When Arsenal won it at the Lane, yeah?
Yeah. I don't want to hear about that, do I?
No, I know. But then who scored your goals that season? You must know who scored your goals that season. But who was at Liverpool? Who was at Liverpool at them times? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me at them times? Hey, where my Liverpool man them? Come true for me, yeah? Who was at Liverpool at them times? Who was...
Tell you what, John. Have a little think about it. We're going to come back to this. We'll get some of you else on as well because, we clearly need a little bit of help.
We need some help.
We do. 03717 22 33 44 if you want to join us for the trivia. This is talkSPORT.